All right, everyone. Welcome to edition 4 of the Monday Morning Pen Blank Makers series. And today we have Mackenzie Penworks, Diamond Cast to review. This is a blank called Smoke on the Water. And it's a nice blank. As you can see, it has the sparkly diamonds that you can see when the light shines off of it. It's really kind of neat material. So one of the things about the coming videos is I'm not going to be so dang wordy. My wife says that I can get into a rabbit hole and keep going, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to try to do this video in about 10 minutes instead of the 20 minutes. We're going to try to cut them in half from now on. All right, so stay tuned. We'll talk about this blank. So what do I know about Tim Mackenzie and Mackenzie Penworks? Well, I've known Tim for a while, I think for about 8 or 9 years. About 4 or 5 years ago, when I was still making my pens for cancer patients, I made a pen for Tim Mackenzie's father, Dave. Dave was stricken with cancer, and he was a Miami Dolphins fan. And I reached out to Dave and I said, hey, I want to make you a pen. And Tim and I worked together, and I think the cap was made out of a diamond cast blank, and the barrel was made out of a piece of material that was ground up seats from the Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami where the Dolphins played. I'm sad to say that Mr. Mackenzie has since passed away, but Dave was a really nice man, and I think he willed the pen to Tim, and Tim uses it to this day. So that's really cool. Ever since then, I've been buying blanks, or I've bought blanks from Tim, and I've done a couple of special projects with them, with a couple of special pours that were just for me. I also have some of his regular blanks. So what do I like about this blank? What do I think about this blank? Was it easy to turn? Was it easy to finish? It's a pretty friendly blank to use. It's user friendly. It does, however, when you start turning it, it does get that chalky white film type on it. And it might be because of the diamonds. It might be the diamond powder coming through, or it could be that that's just the way the mica and the color is. But it did thread well, as you can see. And you would think that a lot of the diamonds powder that came through would leave inclusions, but I don't think it did. I don't see any. I look through every pen on my microscope, and I didn't see any of that either. So the diamonds must be very fine. So for me, it wasn't hard to finish at all. It was pretty easy to finish. The threads came out pretty nice. But you can see on the inside, you get that kind of chalky look that I've had experience with some other blanks. And like I said, with every pen, I sharpen my tooling because I use an eccentric engineering tooling that uses a high-speed steel cutter. And I sharpen them so I can make sure that I'm getting the cleanest cut I can. So Tim's blanks come in probably 9 inches long, about 9 inches, maybe 10. Again, I think when it comes to blanks, the longer the better, obviously, for custom makers, especially for pen makers that make longer pens like I do. This pen is just about 6 inches long. And then you add the thread, it's a little bit longer, and that doesn't leave much room for a section because the section is also threaded. So you want to have enough room to be able to make the entire pen with the section and the barrel and the cap. Now, if I was to make, say, a cigar pen, then I would have to add even more material, because with the waterfall clips, I'm able to add one solid cap. And when you get into having just a 9-inch blank and you add a finial that's possibly the same material because you want to make a cigar pen or a flat top style cigar pen, it could even run into you'd have to buy maybe 2 blanks. But since I'm using waterfall clips on a lot of my pens, I don't have to have that extra piece at the top. So the question remains, would I use Tim Mackenzie's blanks? Well, absolutely. I've used him in the past. Like I said, he's made me some custom blanks, and I've made a few custom pens from them, the one-off blanks. So absolutely, I would use them. I really like the diamond cast blanks. I think it adds something different. And if you haven't discovered Tim Mackenzie's blanks, they've been out for a while. And for a while they were super popular. A lot of people were using them. But I think I'm hoping that a whole group of pen makers discover them. They're very nice blanks. They're well made. Like I said, that diamond shimmer is really cool. And you could see some of that right there. The diamond shimmer is really nice. And with different colors and different hues, it comes out a lot different. So like on the dark, it comes out almost like a night sky. And with the blues, it looks like sparkling water. This blank is called Smoke on the Water. So yeah, absolutely, I would use Tim Mackenzie's blanks again. And I will use them again. And this will not be the only blank that I review. And for the first 3 episodes of this series, or 4 episodes of this series, I'm using blanks from people that I know well. So as time goes on and I start to branch out to new pen blank makers, and I'm doing that, I'm reaching out to a lot of them, I will start doing things for the first time. The Bob Dupress one was a first time blank, but he came with a lot of credibility, and I almost knew it was going to be good. But there's a lot of lesser known pen blank makers that I haven't tried, and I will try them in the future. But to kick off this series, it was almost a given that I was going to try pen blank makers that were obviously I would use again, especially Brooks and Starry Night and now Diamond Cast. And so in the future, as I go through this, I'm going to start reaching out to lesser known blank makers. But anyway, so this is a great blank, and I suggest you go to his website, and I'll leave a website on the page, on the video, and some other information. All right, have a good one.